But sometimes we want that the cell should run and it will generate a new cell, because I have to go again, or say I have to press B, so it will create a new cell below that. Okay, so what you can do, say we have created a new cell.
Sat member, please start the recording if not recorded.
Uh, yes, the recording has been started.
Started, it is there. So next thing is that sometimes we want that whatever the code in the cell, or whatever the code available, it should run that, and it also create a next cell, because it will save some time. Otherwise, I have to create again a next cell below that. So what we can do, print one. If you press Shift Enter in Windows, it will run the cell and create another cell below that. So you can type again if you want to type something or get some output. Okay, these are the different shortcuts. You can go to help and keyboard shortcuts are there. If you would like to change your shortcuts, that is also possible, edit keyboard shortcut, but I will not recommend that. And also for kernel, there is one thing I would like to add, that you can also rename your notebook, like notebook 1. Okay, and then to the kernel, let's say somewhere your code start running, but it's stuck in a loop and it's not ending. Then you have to go here, and there is option interrupt the kernel. You can press that and it will stop the execution. And sometimes your kernel won't work, or sometimes there is a loading issue. Then go to this kernel, see the change kernel option. If you have multiple environments, you can switch to the other environments. Like if I want to switch the base environment, I can type that. It will here show that kernel starting, please wait, and kernel is ready. So I've just switched to the base version. And if I want to again switch to our new environment, like data science, if I click that, it will switch to that environment. Okay, now environment is ready. So I hope this answered your question. And now I will hand over to Dr. Durgesh sir, and he will start the session.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. So I would like to request you to download the IPNV file and the other file from the link. So just this is the link, and you will see inside the day 3 folder, I have added this day 3 session 8 IPNV file, and along with that you have to download tips and Twitter data. So these 3 files. Tips underscore tips.csv. Okay, tips.csv. So please download this tips.csv, Twitter data, and session 8. Day 3 session 8 IPNV file. So we'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes till all the participants download these things. So it is giving me the extracted folder like this, Twitter data underscore data and some date. So I will rename this just as Twitter data. Fine. I hope everyone has downloaded the IPython notebook, session 8 notebook, and the Twitter data and the tips.csv file. So in this session, we will see how to read the text file from the scratch using the open function, read function, and read line function. We will then see the reading the CSV file using pandas and also the saving the files using pandas. We'll also see this what does CSV file look like. We'll proceed with the functions in details. Then in the last, we'll try to complete the list comprehension. So I hope we can start, right? You all have downloaded. Can you please type in the chat if you have downloaded the files so that we can start the session. There are two meetings going on now. So which meeting should I join? You have not joined the meeting. Yeah, so start the session 8 folder and we'll see one by one. So uh, so I hope you have already installed pandas. So we are not using pandas here. We are just read CSV. So Twitter data, it was just to know. So base dir. Okay, so we have just loaded the pandas using the PD, and we have put all our Twitter data files in the Twitter data folder. So we have just used the list dir command to see the files located in that directory. So we see that we have the Twitter. We have to first activate the environment, then we have to read. So it is like the shortcuts, like the shortcut abbreviation, a common abbreviation we use for the pandas as PD. Though it is not compulsory to use the same notation, but it has been quite a unsaid rule. Like the people often use the import the pandas as PD. So you can use pandas, import pandas as anything. Like you can give your own name, but it has been a standard, unsaid in standard that usually people use import pandas as PD. And what is the import module and what is a module, we will see in the next day session in detail how to make a module and what are the modules means. So we have already seen that uh, uh, with the OS library in the previous section and the os.list library. So when we run the os.list dir, it shows the Twitter data. Inside the Twitter data, it has the Twitter data. So let me see how the directory looks like. So it is now in the Twitter data. It is Twitter data. So I will simply like move this Twitter data to upsides and Okay, Twitter data I will rename all. Yeah, so in the Twitter data I directly have these three files now. So when I run this again, we got the files list. Baseline A english.txt semi-eval 2017. It is a semi-eval 2017 task. So Twitter 16 test A english.txt. So we can just read the CSV file using pandas.csv. We have to just give the file name and the separator. So separator in this case is the \t. So we have, but usually the CSV file have the separator comma, but in this case it has the separator as \t. So when we run this, we see that we get a 3 column. One is the noise column. It doesn't contain anything. So we will see further how to remove this column. And first is the tweet ID. Second is the sentiment. Okay. So when we read another file, so another file is the semi-eval 2017 task 4. When we read this file, it has 3 columns. It has 3 columns named like the first column is the tweet ID, second column is the sentiment, positive, negative, and neutral, and third column is the content. So now let us understand how to read the file from the scratch. This we have seen that using the pandas, within the 2 lines we can read a CSV file or a text file or Excel file. The command will be just we don't need to open the file. We just need to give the exact path, total path of the file, and we just need to use pd.read_csv. If separator is anything else from the comma, we have to give the what is the column separator, and we can print the like the sample input of the file, like the top 5 lines using the df.head 5. So if we change here 10, so it will print the first 10 lines of the file. See, the lines are indexed from 0 to 9. So first column is tweet ID, second column is the sentiment, and third column is the noise column. It doesn't contain any value. All the value are none. So now we'll see how to read the file from the scratch. So for reading the files from the scratch, we will use the open function. So we have defined our fname. We have joined the fname with the base dir. Base dir is the tweet_dir. So we got our fname total. So we can print fname total here to see what is the fname total. And after that, we will open this file with using the open command, and after that we'll use the read command. So read command will read the whole file as a string. So it is returning me a string, and we'll close this file. So this is the 3 line for opening the any file, any kind of file, text file, CSV file, or JSON file. You have to use the like this kind of syntax. You have to open the file. You in the read mode, you have to read the file. It will return as a string. Then you have to close this file. Then whole string is like the each line is separated by \n character. So I have divided like the into the lines using the split character. So I splitted this string using the st.split \n. So when I run this, we got this our the complete fname total is this Twitter_data / same-eval 2017 task 4 -dev dot subtask a dot english dot input dot txt. So now I will read the contents of this file, and I will make a list from this text file. So the list will look like the outer list. Each of the outer list is the total contents of the file. In each of the inner list contains the one tweet. So first will be the tweet ID. Second will be the sentiment, positive, negative, or neutral, and third will be the tweet content. So this will be the this is going to be how we are going to read the whole text file as a list. So and again, this will be the first inner list. Similarly, there will be a second inner list. tweet ID, sentiment, tweet content, and so on. Okay. Now we will store this tweet list of list into tweet list. So we have already seen that using a for loop we can enumerate or we can loop over over any sequence. So line list is a sequence now. So if we see the length of line list, we will see that length of line list. So length of line list, we have the 20,000 lines, 20,633 lines. And if we see single, like the first like line list one, so first value, it start from 0th value, but we are printing the first second content. So it looks like the tweet ID, then the tweet sentiment and the tweet content. Order to go set a watchman in the store or through our website before Tuesday and get it half price. GSAW, GSA watchman book. This is the link. So this kind of content is there in the tweet. So I will explain these lines. So using the enumerate, we get both the index of the line and the line content itself in the line variable. So for I comma line in enumerate line list, we have just processed five line. If I remove from here, it will process all the lines. So I just want to process first 5 lines. So I have written 5 lines here, and then we have split again this line using the backslash t, because each line is separated by backslash t. So if you see here, the first column, then the backslash t, then the second column, and again here backslash t, and the third column. So we split the line using the first, we remove the unnecessary, the non-printable character like backslash and backslash t. So strip is the command. Strip is the command to remove the non-printable character, and backslash t is the, as we have explained in the second lecture, that backslash t, backslash n are the non-printable character. Backslash t comes for the tab character. So backslash t denotes tab character. Okay, and backslash n denotes new line character. New line character. So we have split each line over the backslash t, and so we will get a list of like the columns, and we will print this column list, and we will append this column list into tweet list. So this will be the our outer list, and inside this outer list, each of this list which contains a single tweet. So when we run this, we get this as a tweet ID, we get this sentiment, we get tweet content. So if we, apart from the current line list, we can print also the I. So which tweet index we are processing. So first tweet we are getting 0. So I becomes the 0, and from that we are getting, this is tweet ID, this is the tweet sentiment, and this is the tweet content. So like that we are getting the 5 tweets. If we do the 50 processing, we will get the 50 tweets. It goes up to the 48, 49. So if we print the tweet list, so it will become very large. So I will again change it to 5 just for the sake of visibility. Okay, split part. So string, now it is a string. Each line is a string. Now each line is a string. So I will show you the, I have already shown here a line. This is one line. Each line is a string. Each line is a string, and each string is separated. The different parts of the line is separated by the backslash t. So we can convert a string to again list using the separator command, like the using the split command. And so basically if we print here line and the type of the line, and I will change it to 5. So you see here, and I will comment this now for now. So we see here, this is the print line. So line up to here, this is a line, and type of line is str. So when we get this string, we pass it to the strip function, it removes the extra tab character before and after the at the start of the line or at the end of the line. So strip function is for that. After that, when we pass it to the split function, so it will give us three output, like this line. First line will give us three output. First output will be this tweet ID, second output will be the neutral, and third output will be this whole tweet content. So I hope now the split part is clear. This whole string, there are the three uh, three place where backslash t is there, one between column and one at the last of the column. So at the backslash t at the last of the column is removed by the this strip command, and the remaining two backslash t, one at between this first column and the second column, and second backslash t between the second column and the third column. So when we use the dot split command, it splits each line into three columns based on the separator backslash t. So we get a like the each line as a list. Now we can append this line to the bigger list, tweet list dot append this cur line list. So like this we are getting the we are processing now the five lines. So here if we print the tweet list, it is a tweet list of list. So this is the outer list, and inner list consists of the tweet ID, sentiment, and the content. So I hope it is clear now. So if we print single inner list, tweet list 0, it is a single list containing the three parts: tweet ID, sentiment, and the tweet content. Okay. So similarly, I will explain how to make dictionary from the text file. So we'll initialize the empty dictionary, tweet dictionary, as empty dictionary. Then I will iterate similar to a verb. I will iterate over each line. I will split the each line into three parts. So and store this as a list, and I will make the keys of this dictionary as tweet ID. So tweet ID is stored in the first part of the list, and then I will assign this tweet ID is equal to the cur line list, means hold the list. So when we run this, so we are not printing here anything. So we can print here maybe print I comma tweet ID, and so tweet ID. So for we are processing only the top 5 tweets now. So for 0 we are getting this. So when we have already inserted top 5 tweet into the tweet dict. So when we print the tweet dict dot keys, we get a dictionary with the 5 keys value 1 2 3 4 5. And when we iterate through the tweet dict, we print the tweet and the sentiment, corresponding sentiment. So tweet dict tweet will give me the whole list. So this will give me this whole list, cur line list. So in the second part of those things is stored as the sentiment. So sentiment is the neutral sentiment, negative sentiment. And if we want to see the whole dict, so we can run this. So when we are iterating over the tweet, we can print the IE, tweet ID, tweet, and this tweet dict first value, that is sentiment, and then second value, that is tweet content. And we have added a double backslash n so that it is visible clearly. There is a good separation between the adjacent keys value. Any doubts till now? Please type in your chat. We'll pause for 5 to 10 seconds here. How to assign keys? Can you repeat? Okay. So just I will simplify this. Suppose I am initializing an empty dictionary, and then I have a list. Suppose I have a list of it contains the two value, so 0 and the suppose some string. Then similarly we have 1 and the say this. Then we have 3 and the this. So we have a list of list. So first items, each inner list consists of a tuple. So first part of a tuple is some kind of number. We can treat it as an ID, and second part is name. So if we like the for I comma item in enumerate L, so what it will get for prints first print I comma item. Okay, so it is getting me the 0, like the first item will get the count of 0, then 1, and then 2, and the each item is printed 0 comma ram, 1 comma syam, and this. So even if we can start the indexing from, so say any number 10, then it will get 10 0 ram, 11 1 ram syam, and 12 3 mohan, like that. So let's get back this to default value. So default value is 0, and then we print. So the I is the count or the index, and the item is the each of the inner item. So here we can assign D of suppose we are getting the first item 0 as the key, or even I. So DI. So I will become the key, and the whole of the item we are assigning as the value. So here I becomes the key, and the whole item becomes the value. So like this we are assigning, and then after the for loop we will print D. So D, we see that D becomes a dictionary where 0 is the key and the value is 0 comma ram, 1 is the key and the value becomes 1 comma syam, and 2 is the key, it becomes the 3 comma mohan. Okay, so this simple. What was the tweet strip meaning not clear after downloading tweet data? How to link it to VS Code? Download it. Please explain. Okay, I will come one by one. How to assign keys? I think Abhishek, your doubt is clear how to assign keys, because especially in this basic case, you can initialize dictionary with empty dictionary, and then you can even forget about the loop. Even here you can tell like the D something, D7 equal to anything. You can write anything like even anything. So like this you can assign a key value pair to a dictionary. Assign a key value pair to a dictionary. So like you see 7 anything is there. So and then we have defined we have started a loop, and then we are iterating over a loop, and for each of the items we are assigning this to a dictionary. So this part is clear. Then what was the tweet? I will come to that. Mrityunjay, strip meaning. Okay, I will show you again with the example. So suppose we have a st like this. So we have a backslash t. I hope backslash t meaning is clear now. So 0, say again 0, again backslash t, then ram, and again say 25. this we have a string. So then when we print st, so we get 0 RAM 25. So between RAM 25 we again put a strip like that, and we also put a strip here, strip, sorry, backslash t here. So like this. So this thing is clear. So we have defined a string which start with a backslash t 0 backslash t RAM backslash t 25 backslash t. So we want to remove, if we split, suppose we see that we split over a backslash t now. So st list st dot split backslash t. Okay, and then let us see, we print st list. So when we print st list, we get a empty string here, we get a 0, we get a RAM, we get 25, we get empty string. So this output is clear. I think the how does split making this two empty string before and after, because before backslash t here there is no data, so we will get a empty string at the beginning and empty string at the end. But this is in like the not correct data, it is not meaningful data. So I would ideally want to remove these two extra space. So to remove those extra space, we can use the strip before like the st list uh, 2 st list 2. Before using the split function, we can call the st dot strip. Okay, so st new, just let me print like st new and then print st new. So you see here the before and after backslash t is gone. Before that it st was like this. After removing the after using the strip, this backslash t is removed, and after backslash is removed. So it will strip basically removes the starting and trailing non-printable character. Non-printable characters, we have seen two examples, backslash n, backslash t. So I think strip meaning is clear now. So after downloading the Twitter data, how to link it to the VS Code? You don't need to link it at all. You just need to put into the same directory. We have put all the code into day 3. So wherever you have put the day 3 session 8 file, in the same same folder, you have to put the Twitter data, and you have to keep like the extract the Twitter data folder, and you have to keep here. So so you when you just you can see your like when you like when you can go to the file after opening to the VS Code, you can open folders and you can choose your folder like we have kept on the desktop, like day 3 Python IITG, select folder and open, and then you have to click on this file symbol. It will show you the file symbol, and here only you will find the Twitter data. If you expand, you will see these 3 files. So are you seeing these 3 files, Subham? Inside, Devender, like these 3 files: baseline A english.txt, same eval 2017, Twitter 16, test A english.txt. Like this, on this computer, it is configured that this file tab is on the right side, but normally you will get on the left side. So you will get a menu like this, and in the left side, like this, the Explorer menu. Or if you are facing the issue with the VS Code, you can just use the Jupyter notebook. If you are comfortable with Jupyter notebook, both will do the same thing. So should I proceed or should I wait, Devinder, for few seconds? Please type your status, like are you able to solve your query or not? So I will proceed further. I did not get any response. So I hope the problem is resolved now. So Mrityunjay, you was asking what is what is the meaning of tweet dict tweet ID. So tweet dict is a dictionary and tweet dict tweet ID is a single element of this dictionary. So this becomes the key of that dictionary and this becomes the value. So like here, like DI DI becomes the DI becomes the one entity of this dictionary, one of one like the one items of this dictionary. So like if I add the code here for item in D, uh, print item D item. So it becomes 7 anything 001 Ram 1 Syam 3 Mohan. So similarly here we are assigning a like the each tweet list to a tweet dict. So tweet dict tweet ID will assign the current tweet list. It will contain current tweet list contain three things: tweet ID, sentiment, and tweet content. So I hope this is clear now. So this is the tweet dict dot keys, and if we can print like the for tweet comma tweet dict, we are printing the tweet. This will be the tweet ID, and we are printing the second element of the value of the tweet dict. So it contains the sentiment. If we print like the if we print the complete tweet, like if we print like this, it will give a list. This list contains the three value. So and first is the tweet ID, that is the key, and the value is this one, inner list. So this list consists of three value, the ID, the tweet sentiment, and the tweet content. So similarly we have like the printed the I using the enumerate keyword. So index of the index in the, while iterating over the tweet dictionary, then the key, then the sentiment, and the tweet content. And we have increased the separation between two adjacent tweet using the n by giving the double backslash and edge separator.
Devinder, when you are opening that folder, it will ask to accept, okay, or trust the folder. You have to click that, then it will open in the Explorer menu.
So Twitter data folder, what name you are getting? Are you getting the Twitter data folder name as Twitter data or Twitter data something like you are getting Twitter data like this, or the Twitter data underscore underscore something like this? Twitter underscore data. And after expanding the Twitter data, are you able to see these three files like this on the my screen? Okay, so now you just open the session 8 in the same folder. I guess you also locate the day 3 session 8 IPNV file, which I have highlighted. So you have to just open this file, day 3 session 8. You have to select your environment. Like I have already selected data science environment. By default, it will be the base environment. So you have to select your data science environment. Like this, you have to select your Conda environment, data science environment. And then you have to run this line: import OS, import pandas as PD, base dir Twitter data, file list os.list dir, base dir. When you run this, it should print you the three files name like this. Yeah. So we have explained the making list from the text file. We have explained the making dictionary from the text file. Then we will see how to load the CSV file with the pandas. So we'll see the tips.csv. We have just downloaded the tips.csv. So when we click tips.csv, CSV is a comma separated file. So full form of CSV is comma separated file. You see that different columns of CSV is separated by comma, and there are multiple lines. So each line is separated by \n, and in each line the is columns are separated by comma. So this is the CSV file that we are processing now. So just I will hold for 10 seconds here. So to look into it. Yeah, CSV comma separated values.
So Durgesh sir will join soon. Let me explain what is this actually. The tips data set, that is a .csv file. Like many of us use Excel, and that has an extension of .xlsx. Similarly, that comma separated values files are denoted by .csv, that is comma separated values. And in VS Code, you can open, if you have downloaded the data in that folder, it will will show here. And if you click that, it has capability that will show how it looks like this total. It has following columns like total bill, tips, sex of that person, smoker or not, yes or no, then day. It is a data basically for a restaurant where, for example, a restaurant owner would like to note how much total bill the person or the group has generated, how much tip was given by that person, and the sex of that person, whether there is a smoker, yes or no, in that group, what is the day when that person or the group arrived, whether it's a Sunday, Saturday, like this, and time, whether it's a dinner or a lunch, and the group size. So the first row explains the column names, and then with slash n in next line, all the corresponding values. We will discuss this in tomorrow in detail, but just for today, uh, you just understand that the CSV files looks like this. Actually, the data that it contains looks like this. The first one is for header, the names of the columns, and second one is for different data types, data values, like the total bill here for first observation, for say the first group that has visited that restaurant has paid a bill of $16.99, and the tip amount is $1.01. The person was female, and she is not a smoker, and that was a Sunday, and they visited for a dinner, and the group size was 2, maybe with another friend. And this way, the whole data, each observation are stacked. What is the observation, what is a measurement column or variable, that we will later discuss tomorrow in tomorrow's session. But this is how the CSV is presented in file.
So if anybody needs break, we can take a 5-minute short break, and till that time you can download the codes and the data and try running the script till now. We will take a 5 minutes water break. So how many of you are able to run the code till now? Can you please respond in the chat box? I hope all of you are back now. So are you able to run the code till now? Okay, Mrityunjay, good. So, and also write like the which setup you are using. Are you using Jupyter Notebook or you are using VS Code? Okay. And anyone else? Anyone facing any issue in running the files through Jupyter Notebook or any other setup? Then we will help. Otherwise, we'll proceed with the content. I'm not getting any reply. So are you guys present in the meeting? Okay. Import pandas as PD. Have you written this line? Import pandas as PD. Others see everything working fine. Putwade, yes. Name error. Import pandas as PD. Okay, so I will proceed with the content now. So as we see that CSV file is a comma separated value. So and this is a tips datasets where in a restaurant each transaction is recorded with the total bill, the amount of the tip, then the gender, like the male, female, and uh, whether the person was a smoker, what was the day, and what was the time, and what was the size of the group. So this is one of the open source available data sets. dfpd.readcsv tips of df. After running this code, we get error name PD is not defined. Before this, write import pandas as PD. Copy paste this line. Import pandas as PD. Okay, so we will see how to, like here before this I have written import pandas as PD. So first we have to write execute this line, import pandas as PD. Pandas, okay, as PD. So as was missing here, import pandas as PD. Import pandas as PD, you have to execute this line. So as was missing here, so you have to first execute this line, import pandas as PD. Then you have to load the tips dataset using the pandas. So pd.readcsv fname. It is very simple, and just you can use the print df. So it will print all the lines like this. Print. So when we run this, it will print 244 rows and 7 columns. So for the big files, we don't use the print df, rather we use the print df.head. df.head, and inside head you can give the argument how many top lines you want. Suppose we want top 5 lines, so it gives us the top 5 lines. So like the first line is 0th index with the 0, total bill is 16.99, tip is 1.01, gender is male, smoker no, day was Sunday, time is dinner, size is 2. Okay. So here also we have already done the tf.head. So we can see the columns of data frame using df.column, print df.column. It will give a column as an index object, and inside the index object it is a list of column and it is a object type. So index object. Any column using, like suppose we want to access tip column, we can just type df.tip. Okay, so if we want to access another column, say tf.total bill, so we can just write df total bill and it will give us the df total bill. So just if you want to get the each row of looping over the each row of a data frame, just similar to enumerate, you can use for I comma row in df.iter rows, print I row, we are accessing only the total bill and the time, row total bill row time. So it will give us like the 0th is the first index, this is the in 0th index total bill is 16.99 and the time was dinner. Similarly in the second row total bill is 10.34 and the time is dinner. So in this way we can read a data frame like we can read a CSV file, Excel file using a pandas. So basic syntax is import pandas as PD. You have to define your file name. You have to use PD dot. We will tell in detail in tomorrow session what do we mean by dot. So you are going to read CSV. So you have to use function read underscore CSV and you have to give input F name. So just if you will give print df, it will print the data frame as it contains 244 rows and 7 columns. In the similar way, we can read the Excel file just the in the like the instead of df like the pd dot read csv, we have to use pd dot read excel, and we will see that if we want to write to a csv file, the reading was read underscore csv, and to write csv file the syntax is def dot to csv, and instead of tips dot csv we are writing to tips underscore new dot csv. So when we run this, it is successfully executed and we get a new file here, tips new.csv. So when we open, we are getting the same file and with a added column, this index column, because we have not told like whether to save index or not. So it has in the tips dot, if we see tips.csv, there is no 0, 1, 2, 3 index column here. It starts with the total bill 16.99, 10.34. But when we see the tips new.csv, it starts with 0, 1, 2 like 3. Before a total bill, there is one added column, the index column. There is option we can ignore this index column while saving the file. That we will see in tomorrow class. For the basic, what we have read, like so we have read like the pd dot read csv and the f name. So this is the syntax to read the csv files. So see, in the similar way to read the excel file, pd dot read underscore excel, and we can store this as a df. So and we can see df dot head 5, then it will print the data frame. So to read Excel, pd.read Excel. Similarly, to save the CSV file, we can use the df.to CSV and the fname. So these four are the basic thing that I want to tell you. So here df equal to this or df equal to this. So like this. So this is the basic syntax to read the CSV file and Excel file. We have seen what do we mean by the CSV file, comma separated values. And so if there is any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we will proceed to the function. We'll wait here for say 1 minute to ask any doubt, to clarify anything, if anyone has any doubt. One basic question: does os.path join unifies all the files in a folder and it can access the read files from its parents or child folder? So os.path.join, it is just to create a like the total file name. Suppose you are in a you want to access some parents folder, some files present in a parents folder or some file present in a child folder. So it will help you to create that path. So os.path. And it like the it will be same across the Windows, Linux or the Mac. So it helps in that. So if you want to access the, so I will write here, if you want to access the parent path, so you have to write os.path.join. So path is typo path join, and then double dot means the one level up. So we are placing here day 3 Python ITG. So it will go up to the desktop. Day 3 Python ITG present in the desktop. So this indicates the location. So this indicates the one level up. And when we see the file list here, os.list dir location, so print file list. So it is the all the files in the desktop are listed. So if we go again one level up, so this is going to the one level up of the parent folder. Okay. So now I will go 2 level up to the parent folder. So here I will add one more dot dot. So going to 2 level up. Okay, and then I will print the file list. So there are some like the dot file, and then there are some like you can see the pictures, print hood, templates. This will be common to all the people, like template videos and desktop documents downloads, template videos. So if you, so in this way you can, so that means it is for folder navigation only. It is for folder navigation. It is for like the making the complete file name path. Like if you like the going to the inside folder or going to the up folder, so it will help you to make you the complete file path. Like the file, you can access a file with a relative path or with a absolute path. So it will help you to make you a complete file path, not only the navigation, to make its complete path, complete relative path. It will help you. And like specifically, like if you hard code your file path, like if suppose instead of this had you given like this, So had you given like this, and instead of this, you have given like this. So like this will work on the Linux, but this path will not work on the Windows. So this path is the Linux path, will take the different directory separator as forward slash, whereas the in Windows path it will take like this. So os.path.join lets you help like the solve this, instead of this hard coding the path's complete path like this or this, you can join the different parts of the path using os.path.join. So let me show you the help itself of the os.path.join. So join two or more paths. It just join two or more paths. Okay. And if we just see the os.path common path name manipulation Windows NT5 version, because I am in the Windows PC now. So this is the description. These are the function: absolute path, base name path, common prefix, dir name, return the directory component of a path name, exist, test whether a path exists, expand user, expand variables, vars. So these are the functions. So next we'll proceed to the functions. So we have seen the functions in short in the previous session. We will see the function in details here. So this is a function to solve a quadratic equation, and the like the ax square plus bx plus c. So we are using a numpy library to find the square root. So this way we have defined a quadratic equation function which takes the three things a, b, and c. The and it will calculate the d square equal to b square minus 4ac. If d square is positive, print real roots. It will calculate the two roots minus b plus minus root d by 2a. Other root is minus b minus root d by 2a. Else print complex root. I was trying to find the complex root also, but I was getting some parts in the syntax error due to the j. So I will show you this part later, but let me show you the functions definition using the real roots part. So, and I am returning the two roots x1, x2. So I repeat, this is a function to solve a quadratic equation for the equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c. So it takes the three inputs or the three parameter a, b, and c. You see here when I hover over a, it gives parameter a anything. We have not defined any data type explicitly, and like here, so like any. So then after that we calculate d square, which is equal to b square minus 4ac. If d square is positive, then print real roots and calculate the two roots using the formula minus b plus root d d square by 2a, and other roots as minus b minus root d by 2a. Otherwise print complex root, and temporarily I have fixed x1 x2 as none, as there was some syntax part in defining the complex variable. So I have returned the x1 x2. So for this equation x minus 1 whole square, we will get x square minus 2x plus 1. So coefficient will be 1 minus 2 1. So I want to solve the quadratic equation for which coefficient is 1 minus 2 1, and when we run this we get solve quadratic. Okay, I have not run these things. So first I need to run this syntax, then again when I run this, so this is giving me x if greater than 0, then real root x minus okay, greater than equal to 0. I'm missing here. So when I run real roots and it is giving me 1 1. So it is giving me the two real roots, repeated roots 1 and 1. So it demonstrates the function as well as the if loop. You can have one more loop like the else if loop. If the is equal to 0, then real and equal roots. So you can define the functions accordingly. So this is the call of function. Solve quadratic equation. We pass the coefficient 1, -2, 1, and we get the two roots. And we have printed the two roots. So here we see that it is printed real roots and the two roots as 1.0, 1.0. So next we solve the equation x minus 3 whole square. So we will get x square minus 6x plus 9. So we'll call the solve quadratic equation x1 comma x2 over the using the parameter 1 minus 6 9, and then when we get the x1 x2 we print, we get the complex root none none, because in case of complex root we have not calculated the complex root due to the some syntax issue, and we have just written none and none. So any doubts till here? You can write in the chat box any issue in understanding. So like this we have defined a quadratic equation function. To calculate a square root we have use the numpy. What is numpy? NP. Okay. So what is import NP? Import numpy as NP. NumPy is a library for numerical Python. NumPy is a library for the numerical calculations. So NumPy, numerical Python. It is a short form of numerical Python, like numerical Python. So it is a library, and we have imported library import NumPy as NP. So NumPy provides an array object of arbitrary homogeneous items, fast mathematical operations over arrays, linear. So we will see in the coming session, in the next session, details about the NumPy and the NumPy array.
About the NP is just a alias, like nickname. So everyone has nickname. Instead of calling the whole NumPy, we are just giving it as a nickname as NP, and it is the industry standard.
So going further, when we call this like the solve quadratic equation using the 1 3 minus 18, we again get the real roots as 3 and minus 6 respectively. Okay, so we'll like the see the function call with the variable name. So those who are from the back, we have already studied the C, they might know the call by value, call by name, etc. So here also we can like the call this solve quadratic equation using like the name a equal to 1, b equal to 3, and c equal to minus 18. So this is for x square plus 3x minus 18, and it will also give us the same value as above. Okay, so here we are explicitly writing this is a equal to 1, b equal to 3, c equal to minus 18. So above way we were just giving the value. So this value would assign to the position wise. So first value would go to the first position A value, second value will go to the B, and third value will go to the C. So in this way we are passing by the position. We are passing the argument. We are passing the argument to a function by the position. Here we are passing the argument by the name. So it will go as a dictionary sort of. So that's why even if we swap the order, like if we do the B equal to 3, C equal to -18, A equal to 1, we call the solve quadratic equation in this way, it will also give us the same value irrespective of the position. In this way, if we call the value by this way, function by this way, then we don't need to give the arguments at the same position. Even if we change the position of the argument, function will still work correctly. So now we'll wrap up this session with the last thing. In the function, we have the default value options. Suppose we don't want to provide the new user too much details. Some details has to be abstracted and some value has to be like the default value have to be used as a default value. So we try to define again solve quadratic equation functions, solve quadratic equation underscore 2 with having a default value. So here we are trying to have a default value of B. So B equal to 0, we want to give the default value of B 0. So if somebody does not provide any value of B, it will be treated as 0. So when we run this, it will give us a error. Non-default argument follows the default argument. So what are the non-default argument here? Non-default argument are A and C, and default argument is B. So it is telling non-default argument follows the default argument. So non-default argument is C here, and C follows the B. So all the default arguments should be at the last. There should not be any non-default argument after the default argument. So this is the meaning of the error here. So if there is any doubt, you can keep writing in the chat box. So in the functions, Python functions, there is options to give a default value to a variable, but the condition is that all the default values should be at the last. There should not be any non-default argument after the default argument. So here B is the default argument. So default value is given for the B, but after the B, C is non-default argument. That's why this block is giving error. So we can correct this error by taking we can have the both as a default argument. Suppose we do only once, like only one default variable, like C is default variable here. So C is default variable, then we pass like A, B, and C. Then when we run this block of statement, it runs successfully. And then when we solve the quadratic equation using this, we get the real roots 2 and 0. So suppose, because anyway we are providing C equal to 0, so even though we do not provide any value of C, it will still give us the same results. Like suppose we don't provide the C argument here, we just give the A and B, still it will give the same argument because it is considering default value of C. So we can have the more than one variable of the C. Like suppose we keep the B default as -2. Suppose we keep B default as -2, then we run this again, and then we call this like this, and we don't give the B, we just give the A, and then we see we get the same roots. So this is the end of the session 8 of day 3. So we'll wait for the 5 minutes for the doubt session.
Another thing to note that we can, even if we have a default value, we can alter while calling the function. Like for it is If you go at the top.
Yeah. So if like we can call like here with like the default value for C is 0, we can give a default value of C, or like we can alter the default value of C with 5. Like here, first value is 1, second value is -2, default value of C is 0. We can alter this. So we will wait for like another 5 to 10 minutes. We will wait for 5 minutes for the doubt session. Importance of CSV file. Okay, good question. And how to download Twitter data? I missed that part. Okay. So CSV file is the commonly used text file for the various experimental and the industry purpose work. So it is very light. Say the Excel, when you store the same thing as Excel, its size will drastically increase. But Excel will support formatting, whereas CSV will not support the custom formatting like the making the fonts bold, italic, or highlighting. But the CSV will not support those kind of formatting, but it will be very like it will occupy very less space, and it can store the rectangular data, the tabular data very well. So it is a comma separated values. And regarding to download Twitter data, you just need to go to the folders that we have shared. So like this folder we have shared Python workshop lecture for the participants. So you have to go to this link. Yes, you can use the collab also, but we have not shared now like the how to mount the Google Drive. You can search that how to mount the Google Drive, and you can keep this CSV file whatever we are loading in your Google Drive, and you can mount your Google Drive, and you can load your CSV file from there. You can write your CSV file back to your Google Drive. Okay, how to define j equal to sq at -1 to create complex number in algebra. This part I was trying, but I was getting syntax error. So by tomorrow we will answer this query, Mrityunjay, how to define the complex part to to uh, to handle the j part or imaginary part. So you can go to this site, this link, to download the day3 files, and from here you will see the Twitter data. You have to just download, press on the downloads. It will create a zip file, and then it will download the Twitter data. Anil, you are getting pd.read excel fname showing error. What is the fname? There, are you loading any Excel file? And also you should tell us what the error means. We should know also. Then of course it will show error if it name is not Excel file, and you should also tell the error, not just the Windows like error, something happened, but you will not get details what happened. So if you are telling there is some error, you should report the error. So you can download the zip file like this, and when you start downloads, it has downloaded. You can open. So here is the Twitter data. folder. You can either copy these things or just extract. You can just extract here. Forget the copy. You can extract to it is telling me Twitter data something this. So I will this make it just Twitter data. I will tell OK. Then it will put in the IDM folder. So you have to keep the extracted thing in the same directory where you are working. So I'm working in this directory, and I have kept here the Twitter data, extracted Twitter data here, and all 3 files here. Quadratic equation error shows NP is not defined. Import numpy as NP was in the code file here. Import numpy as NP. So in the up here, I have written import numpy as NP. You have not imported the numpy module.
Whenever you would like to use the numpy functions, you have to import the library also beforehand. After you can do take any functionality of the numpy and do the computation. So first you have to load the numpy as import numpy as NP. NP is the nickname for numpy.
So I think there is no more doubts. So we'll resume the session after 15 minutes of break. So we'll resume the session from 5:35. And we will briefly explain the numpy array module. So how to define an array in Python, how to work with the numpy array module, how to work with the numpy matrix objects, like the matrix of operations like the addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. And even like in the array, numpy array, accessing the elements of array, slicing on array, etc. Doing the transpose of matrix, etc. Okay, so we'll take a 15 minutes break, go and freshen up, and we'll meet at 5:35, and we'll wrap that session by half an hour or 20 minutes. So welcome back everyone. So I'm going to just upload this session. So I have uploaded the day 3 session 9 numpy.ipnb. So I will wait for 2 to 3 minutes so that you all can download and run parallelly with me. So it will be present in the day 3 folder and day 3 session 9 numpy.ipnb. Okay, so I guess you all have downloaded and kept in the same folder. So I will quickly go through these lectures. So the lecture content in this session, we will focus only on the numpy objects, the array objects. So we will start with the numpy array basics, numpy array element wise operations. So numpy array indexing and slicing, very similar to the list and string slicing and indexing. Numpy array shape and multiple dimension. So and then the indexing and slicing of the multi-dimensional array, it is similar in to the single dimension array. We will discuss shortly about the random number and some summary statistics over the array. Then we will conclude the session after the basic matrix operations like dot product, transpose, trace, rank, determinants, flattening. Flattening of matrix is mainly very much useful in various deep learning tasks, eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So NumPy is a short form for numerical Python. It is a very like the widely used library for the machine learning and the deep learning task. So and day to day for the different programming tasks for solving the um, general research questions, like the even solving the any numerical methods, solving the differential equations. NumPy and the SciPy are the widely used library. SciPy stands for Scientific Python. So we'll first import the import NumPy as NP. As Rahul has already told, NP has become a standard alias or the short name for the NumPy. So suppose we define a list L as 1, 2, 3, then we can directly convert this list to the array. So array is also a collections, but it is a homogeneous collections. So it takes the same data type. So if we run this, we see that we get a array initialized which contains the 1, 2, 3. And if we type like the print type of my array, we will get class numpy nd array. Okay. So another way we can use the range function to have the continuous value. So range function will return is like the continuous value integers from 1 to 11 excluding the 11, and we can convert it into the list like this, typecast it to the list, L equal to list range 1 to 11, and when we print L we will get 1 to 11. So we can convert this list again into the array, like my array equal to np array L. So we can print my array, will get the array of consecutive numbers starting from 1 to 10, because in the range function the end is excluding. So if we type the value like if we print the type of my array, it will be the numpy nd array. So we can iterate over the array. So it is a ordered collection. So for I in my array, print I, it will print the value 1 to 10. So numpy array must have the same data type. It is a homogeneous ordered collection. So I will write here numpy array is a homogeneous ordered collection. Dictionary was unordered collection. We will discuss about that later. So homogeneous numpy array is homogeneous ordered collections. So whatever you store in the numpy array, you can like the access using the consecutive sequence. It will be stored in consecutive manner. So if you are giving the different data type, numpy object will automatically typecast it into the same data type. Suppose here it is one is integer, another is float, another is string, and another is boolean. So it automatically typecast all into the string, because this can't be typecasted to other variable like integer or float. So but everything can be typecasted to the string. So it has typecasted all the value of a list to a homogeneous data type. And when we see the array content, 1 is typecasted as array, float 2.5 is typecasted, sorry, 1 is as string, 2.5 is float, 2.5 is typecasted as string, dog was already string, boolean value true is also typecasted as string, and data type is u32. So for I in A, if we iterate over the array element and print the type numpy.str, numpy.str, numpy.str underscore. So all the objects are homogeneous in the nature. So next we'll see the in the numpy array how to do the element wise operation. Suppose we define a numpy array object using the A range. A range is very similar to the range functions. So it will give the consecutive integers from 1 to 5 excluding the 5. Like we see here we get a 1 2 3 4 array of 1 2 3 4. If we do the A into 2, so element wise vectorized operations are like it will perform. It will multiply every element of the array with the 2. So 1 is multiplied with the 2, we get 2, 2 is multiplied with the 2, we get 4, 3 is multiplied with 2, we get 6, 4 is multiplied with 2, we get 8. So whenever we do like the any kind of this kind of operation, so each element of the array is performed with the same operations. Like we are multiplying A with 2, so each element of A will be multiplied with the 2. If we are adding 2 with the A, so each element of the 2 will be added with the 2. So how it happens internally? Internally 2 will be broadcasted to like the 2 will be broadcasted to the array of the 2 with the same size of A. So if A has 4 elements, A will be broadcasted to like the 2 will be broadcasted here like this, and then it will be multiplied element wise multiplication. Similarly, element wise addition, when we add a scalar to an array, it will do element wise addition of that scalar to each and every element of that array. When we do the square, this is the symbol, this is the operator for the square, a to the power 2. It means a double, like the 2 times multiplication symbol. It will square all the elements of the array. So 1 square 1, 2 square 4, 3 square 9, 4 square 16, and d type remains the same, integer 32 bit. So numpy we have already seen in the last examples, where when we are seeing the functions, the numpy has also the square root function np.sqrta. So it will give the square root of each of the elements. So 1 is square root 1, 2 square root 1.414, 3 square root 1.732, and 4 square root is 2. Similarly, it will give the now np.exp, it will do the exponentiation of each of the individual element of an array A. And np.log a, it will do the logarithm, natural logarithm of each of the individual element. So 1 log of 1 is 0, log of 2 is 0.69, log of 3 is 1.0.98. Then so it is a decreasing, it is increasing, but like the shape of log x, if we remember, it will increase, but as we increase the x, the rate of increase will decrease. So numpy.sum, sum of all element, and we get 10. 4 3 2 1, sum we get 10. A dot size, how many number of elements in their array, we get 4. So is there any question till now? We'll wait for 10 seconds to sync everyone, and then we will proceed. If you have any question, you can type in the chat. How to get log to the base 10? I think here you have the ln function also to get the base also, like just a minute, help np dot log here built-in function one please summarize. So we have discussed the numpy array basics. The numpy module, we can import as import numpy as np. We can define an array. We can define first the list variable, and we can convert the list variable variable to an array. So array is a homogeneous ordered collection. It is a homogeneous data collection type, and it is a ordered collection. So all the value will be stored in the sequence. Further, you in the same way as you access the list, you can access the elements of uh, array, like using the index in the same way. It starts from the 0. So even if you give the heterogeneous data type, NumPy will automatically typecast all the all the items to the same data types. So any operations you do with the NumPy array, even if you do one scalar operation with the +2 multiplication with the 2, it will typecast 2 into a vector or an array, and it will do the element wise vectorized operation. So if you do the a +2, it will add 2 to each element. If we multiply 2, it will multiply 2 with each element. Similarly, if we do the np.sqrt a, it will do the square root of each element. If you do a to the power 2, it will square each element. So this is the thing. Okay, Rahul, there is law. So Rahul will be typing to the link to how to get the log 10 base A. Okay, so indexing and slicing. So indexing and slicing is very similar to the previous list indexing. Suppose we have an array that start from 1 to 11. So we can index like A0, A -1, A0 first element, A1 second element, like so on, and A10th will be the last element, and A -1 will access the last element. So we can have the list over enumerate. We can use the enumerate function to get the position as well as value. So, and we can typecast through the list. So 0th position we have value 1, 1th position we have 2, like that. At the 9th position we have the value 10. So we can have slice over the array start and exclude the end A2:6. So it will print is starting from the a third value, so 3, 4, 5, 6, and it will exclude the a6 value. A6 value is 7, so it will exclude the 7th value. It will start from third value, so 3, 4, 5, 6. It is printing array of 3, 4, 5, 6. If we do not give start, start will be considered as 0, and all the element until the index position 5th is will be taken. So here at 5th position, 6th index is there, so it will print from 1 to 5, 1 to 5, array 1 to 5. Okay. So this is striding, taking an array element with a gap of 2. So if there is no start position given, it will consider as 0. No end position is given, it will consider as -1. And so for starting from 1, it will consider the every second element. So it will consider the first, and then the a to a -1, 2 to 5. So 8 a, what is a is now a print a. Wait. Print a is now 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will take 1 and 3. So every second element from the start it will print. So we can reassign the value a0, we can reassign the 100. So, and NumPy array are mutable, changing the first element to 100. It is possible, unlike the tuple where you cannot change the part of the tuple. So similarly, you can change the last position. A -1 is equal to 101. So when you print A, you get 100, 2, 3, 101. So even if you like this like the you can change all the positions from 2 to 5 simultaneously using the scalar number. So fit wheel will be broadcasted to from the 2 to 5th position. So from 2 to 5th, so like here second and third position is broadcasted with the 5, and in contrast to list, ND array allows broadcasting, and like so even if we are writing the 5th, it has only the 4 number, but it even we are getting the more limit, it doesn't throw any error. So similarly, we can explicitly tell from 2 to 5 what different number we are assigning. So like 50, 51, 2, it is getting an error because here in the left hand side we have the 3 items in the collection, but in the right hand side we have the 4 items. So both sides size is the not equal, so we are getting an error. Could not broadcast the input array from shape 3, comma nil to shape 2, 0, 2, nil. So this is a shape mismatch error. So now in the similar way as we have defined the numpy 1D array, we can define the numpy 2D array and like with the multiple dimensions. So suppose we define a range of like the continuous number from 1 to 3 using NP range. So when we print A, we get the continuous number from 1 to 13, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on till 12. This last end will be excluded. When we type when we print the type of A variable, it is numpy ND array, and when we type the shape, it is still the like the first shape is 12 and second shape is unknown because it is 1D array. So we can reshape this because we have the 12 element. We can reshape instead of 1 dimension, we can reshape is to 2 dimension, where the first dimension is 2 and second dimension is 6. So we can use the A equal to A dot reshape, and when we print A, we got a 2 dimension array in which first dimension contains 6 element and second dimension again contains 6 element. So when we print shape of the A dot shape, we get 2, 6. So when we add A plus 100, so it will be again element wise multiplication, so addition. So every element of A will be added by scalar 100. So creating a 3-dimensional array, A dot reshape 3.35. So it is a 2-dimension array. It is creating a 2-dimension array, but like where the number of rows is 3 and the number of column is 5. So because product of 3 and 5 doesn't matches with 12, so it is giving an error that cannot reshape array of size 12 into shape 3, 5. Its shape should match. So if had we had the A contain the 15 element, we could have easily reshaped it to 3, 5. So like we can reshape it A reshape 2 to 3, because when we do the product of 2 to 3, we get a 12. So we can easily reshape it to the 3 dimension. This is how we are reshaping the single dimension array to the 3 dimension. So you can see that, notice the 3 square bracket is starting here. So this is the outer array, this is the inner array, and this is the last one is the most inner array. So each of the innermost array contains 3 elements. Here we have the 3, and we have such in the middle part it will contains 2. So you see the middle part, there is a first and there is a second level array, and the outer level also there is 2 such array. So indexing and slicing over the multi-dimensional array. So first we define a multi-dimensional array. So using range functions, so it will create a consecutive number from 1 to 12 excluding the 13, and then we reshape is to 3, 4, and we are creating a matrix with the column wise, so 3 rows and 4 column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When we access the third row, because we have it is a 2-dimension array now, so we have not given the second dimension, so it will access all the second, like the 8 to third row of the matrix. So 9, 10, 11, 12 will be the accessed. So if we want to access this particular element like the 12, then we can write the A23. and it will access this particular element. So we have discussed how to convert a 1D array to 2D array, 1D array to 3D array. The product of the shape must match in both the cases, and we have seen how to access element of 1D array, how to access element of 2D array, and how we have also seen the slicing in 1D case. Now we'll see the slicing in 2D case. So here a column, so whenever no value is specified, it means all values are taken. Column means all the rows are. So first is the for rows, second is the column. So all the rows but first column only. So first let us print a. Before this, let us print a. So print a. So print a, and then we are accessing all the rows but first column. So 0th column is this 159. First column is 2610. 2610. So it will give us 2610 because we are accessing all the rows but only first column. So when we run this, it will give us 2610. So, and the comma is a separator here for the 2 dimensions. So in this thing we are telling a, we are not defining start thing, so it will start from 0 and it will go up to 2 excluding the 2. So 0th and first row, it will go 0th and first row, and in the column side it will start from 1, it will go up to 3, means 0 and 1 row and 1 and 2 column. 0 and first row, here 0 and first row, and 1 and 2 column. So 1 and 2 column. So 2, 3, 6, 7. It should print 2, 3, 6, 7. So I will spend here 1 minute so that everybody is clear with this slicing over the 2 dimension. Otherwise, they can ask in the query. Those who have any doubt, they can write the doubts in the chat or anything. If you want us to speed up or slow down, you can type in the chat. It will end within say 20 to 30 minutes. We are almost done with the today's session. It is the final round session and it will end within 20 to 30 minutes. So I guess we can proceed. We will give some more assignment related to today's lecture so that you can practice. So doing the transpose, we have to tell the a dot t and it will do the transpose. Please repeat this part. Okay, you mean the indexing and the slicing part in 2D array. Okay, so this is the 2D array. We have the 3 rows and 4 columns. Suppose we want to access the element 8. So how should we access the element 8? We have the 3 rows and 4 column. We want to access the element 8. So how should we access the element 8? What we should write? You guys please type in the chat so that it becomes little interactive. This session becomes little interactive. Suppose this is a list of like the array 2D array. Similar to list, we are using indexing here. We want to access the element 8. A13. So let's see if it works or not. A1 comma 3. Okay, so it access 8. So one more way you can do A13. So A1 and 3. These are the two ways in which you can access A13 and A13 like this. So I will type in the chat the both way you can access. Okay. Now, if you want to access 15 and 37, 15 and 37, how should you access 15 and 37? You have to access 15 and 37. So how should you access? So first you have to give a comma. Comma will separate with the row and the column. So you have to access row wise. You have to access first row, means 0th row and first row. So you have to start from 0. So you have to start from 0 and you have to go up to 2. So this is the thing. So you first row and the 0th row and first row 1 5 and 3 7. So similarly, you first column wise you have to go which column, 0th column and which column, third column, right? So up to third column. So means first, second, 0th, first, second. So you have to go up to the third column. Third will be excluded. Then in the row side, you have to pick up the consecutive row. So 0, 2 is fine here. In the column side, you have to pick the alternate column. So you have to give again the stride of 2. So with a gap of 2. So this is clear. We have to pick up 1 5 and 3 7. So in the row side, we have to pick the first row and the second row. So we will start in the row side 0 colon 2. So it will pick for 0th row and first row. It will not include the second row. In the column side, we have to include 0th column and the second column, 0 1 2, 0 column and the second column. So we will go from 0 to 3 column, excluding the 3. So we are including 0 1 2, and we have to take a gap of 2. So again we will take a stride of 2. So colon 2. So now if we print, so we get 1 5 and 3 7. Is this statement clear to all? Good. So this is the accessing the element of 1D and 2D, slicing and striding is clear. Even if somebody is not clear with this, he or she can tell. Now we can still spend 1 or 2 minutes on this. What type of space does A dot reshape and A dot reshape 223 belongs to? Are they in 2D or 3D? So A dot reshape 3 4, it will convert the 1 dimension to 2 dimension. So and A dot reshape 2 to 3 will convert into the 3D. You have the 3 dimension. Okay. So we were discussing the how to take the transpose of a matrix. Just we have to use the dot operator and dot operator and just write A dot T. We will get the transpose. Then we again want to reshape this 12 consecutive 12 number 1 to 12 into dimension 3 to 4. We get a matrix 2-dimensional matrix where there are 3 rows and 4 columns, and we want to sum up with the axis equal to 0. So this is sum of each columns. So you see like the axis 0. So axis 0 is the row wise. So you are getting this. So 951 is 15. 2 6 10 is 18. So you are getting sum of each column. So axis 0 is the first axis. So you draw a line here. Suppose you draw a line x-axis here. So this axis wise you are doing the aggregate operation. So I will open a doc here, like just so here we have a array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11. So how I understand axis 0 and axis 1, I will just help you because I was also confused about this. So axis 0 we get like this, x-axis. So x-axis. So axis 0, here you draw a line here, and like this you will aggregate 1 plus like the plus 5 plus 9. So this will be the first element here. So in the similar way, 2 plus 6 plus 10. 2 plus 6 plus 10. And next 3 plus 7 plus 11. 3 plus 7 plus 11. And last is the 4 plus 8 plus 12. So like this, x is equal to 0 for x is equal to 0. This is for x is equal to 0. So you will get the like this column like this operation. So you will get 9, 5, 15, 18, 21 and 24. Am I correct? So you will get result like this. So for x is equal to 0, you will get the result, aggregate result like this. Is this step clear? So for x is equal to 1, you draw a line here, y-axis, and you aggregate through the y-axis. So is there any facility to draw a line here? Draw, insert, draw, save. So you draw a line here and you aggregate like this. So you aggregate like this. So this will be your x is equal to 0. X is equal to 1. This will be x is equal to 1. So okay, so a dot sum x is equal to 0, a dot sum x is equal to 1. So we are getting if x is equal to 1, it will add up 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will get 10, 26 and 42. A dot c sum, cumulative sum of each column. So if we print this, we get a dot c sum x is equal to 0. We get cumulative sum of each column. So this output, I'm not clear. Can Rahul, can you help me understand this output?
It will actually add the columns in row wise actually direction.
But it should give a single entity. Now it is printing the same array like this.
No, individual element will be add it in a cumulative manner in row wise.
Okay, so first row it remains as it is. Second row it becomes the sum of first row and the second row. Third row it becomes the sum of first row, second row and the third row. So here it was 1 2 3 4, it becomes 1 2 3 4 as it is. Then the second row becomes the sum of first row and second row. 5 plus 1 6, 6 plus 2 8, 7 plus 3 10 and 4 plus 8 12. Then the third row become the sum of all three, like the 5 1 6 plus 9 15, and like the 6 to 10 plus 6 to 8 plus 10 18, and 7 3 10 plus 11 21, 4 8 12, 12 plus 12 24. So in this way, so row wise we are getting, so a0 will remain same, at a0 will remain same, a1 a1 will be like, a1 will be a0 plus a1, and a2 will be a0 plus a1 plus a2, like that. Axis 1. So I was telling for axis 1, axis 1 you have to consider this y axis. So y axis like that, it, and wait, no. So you have to consider a y axis. So this is a axis equal to 1. So this is your axis equal to 1. So this is your axis equal to 1. So type normal. This is your axis equal to 1. So when you do axis equal to 1, you sum up this number 4 3 2 1. So 4 3 2 1, 4 plus 3 7 2 9 10. So you get axis equal to 1. You are getting first number as 10. Second number you will get second number 5 6 11 11 7 18 18 18 18 8 26. Second number you will get 26. So here you can write 10 and sum as 10. Here you can write sum as 26, and here you can write the sum as like 9 9 11 20 20 10 30 30 10 40 42. So like this, this is x is equal to 1. I hope it is clear. Axis 1 is like, I understand axis x, like they draw a line here in the x-axis parallel to x-axis, and then process all the means it should contain like the, after axis 0 it should contain like this, all the elements should have in the same like this. So it, when you doing x is equal to 0, it should have the number of elements equal to the number of columns. Okay, so in x is 0, number of elements equal to number of columns. In x is 1, the number of element will be equal to number of rows. So x is equal to 0, number of elements equal to number of, because you are, see, you are aggregating across this line, so all these things will be reduced here, like 1 plus 5 plus 9, 2 plus 6 plus 10, 3 plus 7 plus 11, and 4 plus 8 plus 12. So there are 4 elements, so number of elements equal to the number of columns. When you do x is equal to 1, then you are processing along this y axis. So you will take the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So number of elements equal to number of rows. It is not very confusing, or it is very confusing.
It will be clear with practice. It will take time.
It should be sum of column, right? X is equal to 1. X is equal to 1. You are aggregating along this axis. Axis. We first take x is equal to 0 is the x-axis. So when you are aggregating, what I said, wait, I will switch on the video now so that you can see my. Yeah. So x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0. You are aggregating this whole thing along this axis, x-axis. So the number of elements will be equal to number of columns. While you, is this clear now? Along the x-axis, when you are doing x is equal to 0, all the elements will be aggregated along the row wise. So we get the row matrix and the column matrix. Yeah, Devendra, you are right. So in x is equal to 0, we get a row matrix, single containing only one row, and when we do x is equal to 1, we get a column matrix. You are right. A dot sum x is working fine, but a dot sum x is equal to 1 giving error, axis error. But here it is running fine.
What is the array?
You print a. You print a dot sum x is equal to 0, a dot sum x is equal to 1. Before that, you print what is your a. So my a is here, 2-dimension array 1 to 13, shape 3 4. Then see a dot sum x is equal to 0. It is giving a row matrix containing only one row, 15 18 21 24. A dot sum x is equal to 1. It is giving a column matrix, but it is denoting like this. So 10 26 42. So it will work. Just check what is the value of a. Okay, so we'll proceed. We have already seen the cumulative sum. We will see a dot product of over all element. All the element will be will be multiplied, and we are getting this large number. So if we do the product similar to the sum, x is equal to 0, all the x is 0 element will be product. So product all the element in each column, and a dot product x is equal to 1, product all the elements in each row. So random number, we can generate the random number using np.random.randint. It will generate a random integer between 1 to 100, excluding 100, and like it will generate 10 number of random numbers. So it is generating an array of 10 random number, uh, which will be in the range of 1 to 100. So this is the syntax of generating a random number. So we are generating a like the random number using a like the normal distribution. So we will generate a random number which are normally distributed with mean 5 and standard deviation 2. So np.random normal. So from the normal distribution of with mean 5 and the standard deviation 2, we are taking the 10 random number. So we are using the normal distribution to pick the numbers randomly. Okay, so the seed is used to control the way random number is generated. So in fact we are getting pseudo random number here. So if we set the same seed, even no matter how many times we run the random number generation, we will get the same random number. Like here we have seeding the 1 2 2 3 as random number, then we are generating a range between 1 to 100, and we are selecting a number random number of 100 random number in the range of b. So in the range of 1 to 100, and we are like the with every sampling we are changing, we are replacing the again the samples. So replace equal to true. So we will see that we are getting the 100 random number, all are between 1 to 100, and that the some numbers we can have, we can get it is possible to get the same random number, because we are selecting the random number with replacement. So we are getting 67, 67 many times. So we might get the same random number again. So np.unique, it will create the unique elements of matrix B. So these are the unique elements. So these elements was not unique here. So we are stored in the B. So here we see that we are getting the unique elements from this random matrix B1. So we can also use the set function and type is cast to list function and then pass it to array to get the unique number. So further there are some statistics that we can get using the NP, like the a dot max, a dot mean, like that. So first I have to define the array A. A is a random number array. So it consists of 10 random number between 1 to 101, and when we can sort, so it is in sorted order, then we can find the maximum A dot max, it is 99. We can find the A dot minimum, we can find the mean of this, so it is 74.9. We can find the standard deviation of A, 25.43. So we can have the dot product of the matrix. Just we need to do np.ab. So np.ab will give us the dot product of two matrix A and B. We have already seen to do the transpose using the a dot t, and trace is the sum of main diagonal element. We can use the a dot trace function and the sum a dot diagonal function to get the trace of matrix. So similarly, we can get the rank of matrix. So these are the linear algebra concepts, so which are very useful in various matrix operations. So rank, we can calculate the rank using np.linear algebra package and dot matrix rank. So here we get the rank of matrix is 2. We can also get the determinants np.linear algebra dot det A, and we get the determinants as 5.0. So now we can flatten we have seen how to convert one dimension matrix to two dimension matrix using reshape. Now we'll see how to convert two dimension matrix to one dimension matrix using the flatten function. So suppose we have two dimension matrix like this 3 cross 4 matrix, and we want to convert it to one dimension matrix. So we can use a dot flatten function to convert it back to the one dimension matrix. So for getting the eigenvalues and eigenvector, we can use np.linearalgebra.eij to get the eigenvalues and the eigenvector. So eigenvalues will be the first will be the eigenvalues, and second will be the eigenvector. So this is the end of the today's session. Tomorrow we will briefly cover the pandas library and the plotting library. So for that you need to know briefly about the list, dictionary, for loop, and the functions. And don't worry, even if you are forgetting the syntax now, you just need to get it done 1 or 2 times. It is okay if you are overwhelmed with too much of information, but slowly with the practice you will get most of out of it. Even after so much of practice, we also use the documentation help and the search engine help to get the correct syntax. So it is okay for you if you are not like the remembering the syntax, all the syntax. Just you make sure that you understand the thing, and most of the syntax are the very friendly, like so I would hand over to the Rahul if he wants to add something. We will try to wind up tomorrow by 5:30, but as the some participants, the question due to the questions of some participants, we have to take more times. So, and tomorrow lecture is little bit dense, so we'll try to finish by 5:30, but sometime it uh, might extend by 6 p.m. And Devender, you should also see the level of questions you ask. So we need to show multiple times same thing. So it might takes more time. So you should be thankful at least that even if we are taking 1 hour extra, we are showing the repetitive things again and again.
One thing that many participants So I will conclude this session with please after this session at night.